Danielle, welcome. Thank you for joining us. So let's dive right into the discussion. Tell us a little bit about your company.
Yeah, sure. Our company name is Milkster Nitrogen Creamery plus Coffee is really our official name now. And we started out initially as a nitrogen ice cream company. We have since kind of made a transition into also adding coffee, which is a passion of ours. It's kind of how our journey began into the world of franchising and really into the world of servicing or serving people.
Mhm.
And we're also looking to add potentially some other desserts to the lineup. Our motto is we believe dessert and coffee can change the world.
Awesome, awesome. So tell us a little bit about, taking us through this journey. Tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you faced through this journey.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been a lot of ups and downs for sure. Probably the biggest one came in 2020, for the entire world, not just for us, but it's been a challenge is getting sort of a franchise started or really kind of implementing our model into other stores. And so probably the biggest challenge has been figuring out how do we help each franchisee kind of market their stores and sort of passing on the message that we would normally would in our store.
Mhm.
It's not about executing as much as just maybe helping them know how to sell their product in their community.
Mhm.
So it's one of the challenges that we face, probably a lot of franchises do. And then another major one was obviously in 2020, where, a lot of stores, a lot of our lobbies were closed. We started out in Michigan, so a lot of stores in Michigan, we were pretty much closed for almost a year. And since everything is really rotated around lobbies, not necessarily drive-through, that really didn't help our situation. We've since adapted, but that's the scenario that we were in.
Right, right. Yeah, but I'm glad you made it through that. So, especially back in 2021, it was not easy for franchising companies. So that's good. But now tell us a little bit about what was the exciting part of the journey.
Yeah, I mean, every day there's there's headaches, but there's also a lot of exciting parts. For me personally, and for our team, I think I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I've always loved ideas and sort of bringing ideas to life. And
Mhm.
so franchising really Milkster kind of brings that out because every day we're working on something different and something new, either innovating a flavor, ice cream or coffee, or talking to a potential franchisee or a store owner, and trying to see how we can elevate that experience. So that to me and to our team, that's exciting because that's kind of in our nature. But that doesn't mean it's easy, but it kind of provides excitement to solve those problems. I'm actually an engineer by trade, so
Mhm.
solving problems is kind of in my DNA, and I try to build that in our team.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I think it's all, at the end of the day, it's all about solving problems, right? And you've come up with a great product. So, that involved a lot of innovative thinking. So that's awesome. Now tell us, what is your vision for the company?
The vision for our company, we have a pretty big vision, I think, and so. So to kind of talk about our vision, I think I just need to backtrack a moment.
Yes.
There's a few elements that are different about our company. One is the way we make our ice cream, we make it with liquid nitrogen. Two is the way we sort of design our stores. Um, they're very, I like to say entertaining, the way we make the ice cream. And so we try to convey that over in the way we design it. So it's got a lot of different colors that really highlight the way we make the ice cream. The same thing with the coffee, the flavors. Another element that's important to us, we have a goal of providing a cup of water for every ice cream and coffee we sell. Essentially, for every cup that we sell, we actually have a program called Cup for Cup. So our vision is sort of tied to that. And what happens is our goal is to help communities around the world that don't have access to clean water. Believe it or not, that's a huge problem. Bringing water to their communities. A lot of the areas we're working with right now is in Africa. And so our mission or our vision is really tied to that. We want to bring 100 million cups of water, essentially really digging wells to, a lot of people. So that's a lot of cups, that's a lot of water, that's a lot of ice cream being sold. That probably means about 1,000 stores. So we have a big vision to kind of solve this problem around the world with water, but at the same time do it through selling like these really good, unique products. A secondary motto that we have is creating beautiful moments around dessert. So that's why to us, our interiors, our flavors, our products are really important, because we want to create these beautiful moments for families around dessert and people that want to come enjoy our space.
Awesome. I love your cap and your t-shirt. So tell us, so do you have any competitors?
I mean, there's always competitors. So there's obviously product competitors. There's all kinds of competitors in the ice cream space and coffee. And the next product we're going to get into is also got competitors. But I think what differentiates us a little bit is the way we want to go about it. So first of all, our goal is to be a premium brand, and sort of we provide a premium product because the reason we use liquid nitrogen is because it allows the product to be freshly made in front of the customers, basically that moment. And number two, it allows us to use and highlight those ingredients that we use, that we aim to have freshly made in front of the customer. So although we do have ice cream competitors, right? There's ice creams all over the place. We think we provide a unique experience with a unique product, a really high quality. Really, the focus is freshness and premium, and the same thing in the coffee. We're not necessarily aiming to be sort of 50 flavors of coffee. We're really trying to be more of a third wave approach. And what that means is we're kind of going for quality necessarily versus like a ton of variety and like big and small sizes. So that's what third wave coffee is about. It's more about the quality of the bean, and combining the ice cream and the coffee together is, I think, what makes us unique versus other competitors out there.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself in the next 3 years?
Where I see ourselves in the next 3 years? Yeah. So of course we made goals in 2019, and then 2020 happened. So now everything is sort of with a grain of salt, but I would love to kind of hit our initial target, which is get to 100 stores open in various forms, because we do have sort of various forms of selling our stores. It's not just the franchise. We actually have something called a supply agreement, almost like a licensing agreement available now. We have kiosks, we have trucks or food trucks available, as well as like just a regular store. We also have a drive-through. So in all those variations, we'd love to be at about 100 stores in the next 3 years.
Wow, that's amazing. That's pretty aggressive, and I hope you will achieve your goal. Really hope.
We had a little bit of a learning curve up to now. We probably should have been close to that number, but like I said, we took a pretty big hit in 2020 and after.
Awesome. So what does your growth trajectory look like beyond those 3 years? Even
like
beyond
I said,
3 years. Yeah.
I mean, we would love to get to a state. We would love to become a national brand in the dessert space. So as far as coffee, ice cream, and like we're actually looking to introduce boba as part of our lineups, and those three products we think are really on a growth trajectory over the next few years. So we'd love to become a national brand, where when you say Milkster, like amazing ice cream comes to mind, and an amazing experience, amazing coffee as well. And so We're very passionate about the experience in the store as well as the products that we offer because we think they're really tied together. So that's our vision. Now, what I didn't mention is we would love to, these stores and sales love to turn into wells for people where people get to, we can change communities by bringing water to the community where right now a lot of them have to walk 3 to 4 hours a day in some communities just to get water to their family. So, if we can take our customer on this journey with us and sort of present to them what they're able to do, that would be absolutely amazing because we would be in the business of changing lives as much as providing these cool experiences.
Yeah, yeah. So, what are your plans so do you have any plans for international expansion at all?
So the goals I mentioned right now are sort of tied to the USA, but we are open to international expansion if the opportunity arises. Definitely, like I said, we have a few variations of the stores, from a drive-through to kind of a regular classic store to a food truck to a licensing agreement as well as franchising. So there's a wide array of opportunities there. And yeah, definitely, we'd love to get into international markets if there was the right partner.
Any particular companies in mind? Countries in mind, sorry, not
Any
companies.
particular countries in mind? I mean, obviously, we think the Asian goes really well in warmer climates.
Okay. Yeah.
With the coffee, probably that's not as critical as it used to be, but it would be nice to have probably a warmer climate because we think our products will do really well in those regions. So anywhere from Dubai, India, South America, there's really Australia. I mean, there's a lot of warmer weather states, but not only. Honestly, Europe would be I actually am from Europe, so that could be an easy direction for us as well because we're very familiar with Europe. But really, yeah, anywhere. Would love to talk to people that are creative and have an idea, and if we can, the way I like to think about it, we have the vehicle, and somebody else needs to drive it, and so we can help somebody lend them our vehicle and they can drive it. We'd love to do that.
Yeah, yeah. So let me ask you this. Let's say someone wants to own a franchise of Milkster. How would they go about doing that?
You're right. So basically, they would contact us and we would be able to kind of give them all the information about that. Like I said, we have sort of two different options right now. We have a franchising opportunity as well as a licensing opportunity. The licensing is a little bit different. It's actually called a supply agreement. It's a lot more, it really depends on the situation. The licensing is essentially just a contract between us and them, where we would agree to provide them the products and as well as some assistance. So it's different than franchising. And franchising is, we would get in contact. We would see if we were a good fit for each other, and we can tell you kind of the whole story how that works. Especially if we're talking about a country, then it's a little more intricate of a discussion because it's not, there's a lot more involved in that. As far as do they want just a region? Do they want the whole country? And then we can talk about more of a master franchise or master agreement.
Master agreement, yeah. So also, so let's say, so what is the kind of support that you would, let's say someone is interested, and what's the kind of support that you would offer them to get started?
Yeah, I mean, I think in both scenarios, the supply agreement and the franchise agreement. So let's stick to the franchise part.
Yeah.
We're basically we're customizing the experience because not everybody's the same. Every franchisee needs help in a different area. So right now, we are basically offering any type of help as much as sort of needed within limits, obviously, and within potential. But overall, we from a call every week to a call every day to a call every 2 weeks, depending on what the customer needs in that moment. It could be marketing help. It could be operations help. We're there pretty much to be along their way, along their side. Now, I don't want to make it misunderstood. this is obviously, temporary. You don't want to get into a business that you have no clue what to do. We can't be that type of help, but we're definitely there to hold your hand through the process and during the process. But there's definitely some intuition that has to come into play on your part. That's why I want to clarify that.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're providing the vehicle, but you have to know where to drive it, how to drive it, sort of how fast to drive it. All of that is, at the local level. So does that make sense? But if the vehicle potentially has a mechanical issue, we're there to help you fix it very quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Are you targeting a certain category of people for this, or do you have something like that in mind?
Yeah, very good question. So we have an array of people that have been involved with us. Our target audience would probably be a family that wants to get involved, that with their whole entire family, and sort of make it a family business and hopefully grow with them into multiple locations. That would be awesome. Secondary, there's also been some investors that hired a manager and they want to be more hands-free. And that's okay. That works too. We definitely want something that's passionate about dessert and having people in their place and kind of live that experience, because it is an experience, and it's harder to convey that to the customer if they're not passionate about it. So really, I would say in a nutshell, the ideal customer is somebody that wants to provide to their community like a really awesome experience in dessert, coffee, and coffee, and they're passionate about that. And we can kind of see what those methods look like. We're not close to, like I said, it could be an investor that has a really good manager they want to promote, or a family. Ideally, it would be cool to have a family because we think we're very family friendly.
Yeah, yeah. So also, so let's say, so what are some of the challenges that they're likely to face? Let's say someone is interested, they start this franchise, they become a franchisee, and then what do you think are some of the challenges that they're likely to face?
I mean, yeah, again, a very good
Just
question.
to give them a heads up, yeah.
Yeah, it's really important that people understand when they start a business, whether it's a franchise or a regular business, but you wear a few different hats at the same time, and you have to kind of get comfortable with that. Or if you're not comfortable with that, then you'd really need to, from the very beginning, to be able to delegate. And at the beginning, you're going to be the producer, as in like you're going to make the product. Number two, you're going to have to learn how to market it, and number three, you're going to have to work, know accounting or finance. And sometimes you need to wear all those three hats, and if you don't, you need to be able to delegate to others and trust them and sort of empower them to do one of those things, because you might not be able to do them all very efficiently. But just keep that in mind. A lot of people, I would say the challenge is they're more on this romantic journey, and it is fun, it is romantic, but it is a lot of work too. I don't want people to misunderstand, but it's rewarding.
Yeah.
So I think that's the challenge, conveying them to people that, hey, you have to wear these hats, and yeah.
So how much would it, if you don't mind sharing, how much would it cost for them to own a franchise or own a Milkster franchise?
Yeah, so the cost does vary a little bit from year to year, because obviously building costs go up and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Our franchise fee once in a while does reflect that. In general, to open a franchise, we're looking at somewhere, and again, it depends. There's a lot of, like I said, we have a few scenarios of the store. So a food trailer, not a truck, a trailer is somewhere around $75,000, including the franchise fee. A drive-through store, which is basically a small container concept that has a drive-through. It's a small 320 square foot building, is somewhere around between $200,000 and $250,000 investment. depending a little bit on the ground that's going on. And a regular store is again between 200 to 250, 250,000 investment. So, that could vary a little bit depending on what location we're going into. If it's something that's already existed into as a restaurant, it could save some money because a lot of the infrastructure is already there.
Yeah, and I think the master agreement would also be different. The cost of the master agreement also would be different, right? If they had,
master, we would have to look at there's a lot of facets there. We'd have to look about what area, what country we're talking about, what region, how many people they want to encompass, and then we would come up with a price based on that. So we would kind of custom, we'd have to discuss that on a particular basis.
All right. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to add or talk about your product?
I like to maybe just highlight some things that make us unique. I think I already touched on most of them, but just to summarize, like I said, the initial journey started with the ice cream, and in particular nitrogen ice cream. And we use liquid nitrogen because we think it creates a premium product. It creates a much smoother, much denser, like a gelato, but smooth like a custard, the ice cream. So, and it's also a really more entertaining experience when you're there because we do make it in front of the customer. We also have added coffee to the concept in the last 2 years. The specialty coffee, which is a little bit different than, let's say, a Dunkin' Donuts or some other. We aim sort of for the latte art, if you know what that is that pretty flower on top. And to do that, it's pretty challenging. And it's not about the flower. It's by sort of creating that flower, you create a much better drink. So I would say that's a differentiator in the specialty coffee. And so we're marrying good ice cream with good specialty coffee. And we're also looking to bring on boba because we think it fits really nice in our portfolio of products. So that's definitely, and then we also have an array of buildings. I mean, check us out. We like to think we're very creative. And, also, we're not this sort of run-of-the-mill, space. Our spaces are pretty unique, and we're also taking an approach of if we can save some money for the customer and not just throw up a $500,000 building, that's not our approach. That's easy to do. We're really into using creative materials, efficient ways of constructing. So,
all right.
I'm not sure what we're about and we're passionate about. So, don't forget, we believe dessert and coffee can change the world.
Yes, it does. I believe too. So thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you so much for giving us insight into your product and the franchise opportunities that are available through Milkster. It was an absolute pleasure having you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Same here. Appreciate it.